Well, hey there. I wanted to take a moment to catch everybody up who's been following me on Facebook with my story over the last, I guess 10 or so months. I did have my double mastectomy on March the 10th. So today I went for my 1 month checkup with my surgeon. So I've seen my oncologist, my plastic surgeon, and unfortunately my radiologist all since I touched base last time. So the good news is I'm recovering fine. Honestly, um, I don't think it hurt as bad as I thought it would. It still hurt, but I was fortunate I didn't have to take any of the pain relievers that they gave me. They gave me 3 different narcotics plus something for nausea, and I was very fortunate with my use of a lot of CBD and some Tylenol. I was able to get through the discomfort, and honestly, the scars aren't as bad as I thought it would be. I did what's called flat, which is kind of like a combination of flat and what's called Goldilocks, which I did look that up. That's where they take your chest tissue and they just make like a little bump, so you're not concave. It's not a, I'm probably an A cup now. I was a double D. So, but my reconstruction will be set for probably next January, my choice. Wait till after the holidays and the Georgia games and the national championship to do my next surgery, because that's probably like a 12-week reconstruction. The DIEP Flap surgery, which is what I wanted to get, and I've lost 64 pounds now to be able to qualify for that type of surgery. I was blessed to be able to find a surgeon that's still doing it without adding an additional $25,000 to $30,000 for the charge. That's a whole new thing. Insurance has decided now to not pay for DIEP Flap. They'll pay for tram flap, which is a 4-hour surgery. Mine is 10 to 12 hours, and you have to negotiate with the doctor to pay the difference. The first surgeon I checked out, it was an extra $25,000. So I said, I think I'll stay with my size A Goldilocks for $25,000. But anyway, so I have a great surgeon lined up. And so that will be next January. In the meantime, I will be doing radiation. Boo hiss, yeah. So I was able to shrink the tumor with all of my hard work and dedication, but it is still in some lymph nodes, which, the 15-year statistic is that if I do radiation, my chance of recurrence is only 7%. So I said, that's a pretty good odds. So I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm hoping that with all the health and wellness stuff that I've been doing that helped me go through the mastectomy without, too much fanfare, that hopefully I'll be able to do the same thing with radiation. The good news is that they've told me all along, chemo is not going to help this type of cancer because it is so slow growing. Yay team, I've got a slow growing kind of cancer. If you gotta have cancer, have one that's slow growing. So for those of you that know nothing about cancer, this is not gonna make any sense to you, but for those of you with cancer, or know someone with it, I have what's called a K167 score of 9, which means it's a 9% growth rate. Some people have like an 80 or 90% growth rate. So when you're looking at it in the grand scheme of things, if you're going to get one, invasive lobular carcinoma is better than some of the other ones. So that's a positive. That's not to say that that this won't come back. Just because it's slow growing and chemo is really not going to have that big of an impact. They said maybe an extra 5%, which who's going to do chemo for a 5% difference? Not me. But if I don't still make some change, if I don't continue with my plant-based diet and staying away from sugar and carbs and things that we know feed cancer, then yeah, I run the risk of it coming back. So, a lot of people believe that just because you have it cut out and they get it all, that it's never going to come back. No, if you go back to the same things you were doing before, you're going to get the same thing you got before. So, so if you've had surgery, and you want to reach out to me, I'll tell you some of the stuff that I've done. It's, all of my labs going into my surgery, all my cancer markers, there's one called a CA27. And I think they want you to have less than 38, and mine was less than 10. So, when you look at the big picture, I'm doing okay. So for all the people that sent me the beautiful flowers and cards and messages, even today, messages, for everyone who brought us food. Gary said that he's gained 10 pounds with the meal train. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're good though. We can cook now. I was very blessed, and I don't know if it's my CBD or I'm just lucky or I had a great surgeon, but I never had limited range of motion really. I was able to wash my hair the minute I came home. Well, they make you wait 2 days, so you get stinky for 2 days. But I was able to wash my hair, brush my hair, you know, roll my hair, do anything that I wanted to do. And so I'm not saying that everybody's going to be this lucky. I'm just saying that if you're putting off going to the doctor because you're afraid of hearing you've got the big C, I get it. But don't delay. Go for your diagnostics and follow up. And to recap, for those that this might be the first time you've ever seen my video, I was diagnosed in, I went for my thermographic imaging, which is a whole nother thing you pay out of your pocket. It detects heat variation in the cells that are actively growing in your body. So over the last 20 years, I would rotate. I would do a mammogram, and then I would do thermographic imaging just for a second opinion. And so anyway, in 2021, I went for my thermographic imaging, and it said on a scale of 1 to 5, I was a 3 as far as I've got something going on and seek a mammogram for further diagnostics. So I went for my mammogram, and I just found it last week to reread that mammogram. They said, actually, they didn't see anything on my left side. They only saw something on my right side. But when they went back and looked at prior mammograms from like 10 years ago, they said it was the same thing and not to worry about it, benign. But then I read further down on the left side that when I was there, they kind of poo-pooed the testing that I told them about. And they said, there's really nothing there. It's thick and squishy. You know, you just have dense breast. You know, just come back next year. But in the report, what I read later, this said that what they found was dense breast tissue, same since 2004. 19 years ago, this had started. And I've seen reports with many women that have invasive lobular carcinoma that they track it back and figure out it's been growing for over 20 years. So we've documented now, mine's been hanging around for 19 years. So that being said, you know, I don't know what I could have done differently. 2021, I went out of there kicking up my heels saying, yay, I dodged a bullet. 2022, a different radiologist saw the same thing, said, you know what, I do not know what this is. Probably nothing, but for peace of mind, go to a breast specialist and get a biopsy. And that's what I did, and that's when we found this. And so, like I said, you know, no one person's fault. It's just 10% of the people are diagnosed with this type of cancer, and many of them don't know it for many, many years because it does not show up on a mammogram. It does not show up on an ultrasound. You can see it on an MRI. And like I said, thermographic imaging did tell me something was amiss as far as a temperature variation. But even that's just a tool. So do your self breast exams, and even if you find something that's different, that's not a hard knot, if it's like mine, just lumpy and squishy, but a different texture than the other, seek further advice on that. Don't just say, oh, I'm lucky I dodged a bullet, mammogram said I'm fine. Now, I don't want to scare everybody and think, well, you know, if they tell you you have dense breast, that means you have cancer. No. What that means is you need to be more vigilant and check it out. I posted in Facebook the week after my surgery, like around maybe March 10th, maybe 17th, that I saw a report on the news where they're saying now that mammograms are not finding all types of cancer. Well, yeah, lobular carcinoma. And they were wanting to get insurance companies to start paying for different methods of detection. So that would be good, because thermographic imaging is about $275 to $300 for just the chest up. So that being said, my labs are good. I'm healthy. I've lost 64 pounds. My goal is about another 15 to really be at my ideal weight to, like I said, make sure this doesn't come back. So I hope to see you out and about soon. I drove today for the first day. So, so look out, world, here I come. Bye, everyone.